Hello, Victor. I hope you can hear me more or less. As Victor mentioned, I come in representation for Mediterranean Consulting, which is a consultancy firm from the region of Barcelona. Wanted to thank the opportunity to present our apps and the interest you showed coming here and hope, well, had a nice week and the weather is fine wherever you are living. I'm not the boss. He's Francesc Berjano, who may be known by some of you. He worked for a long time in mainstream consultancy companies, but decided many years ago to set up his own, and we worked a long trip on it. Mediterranean has been supporting companies in multiple ways, especially in IT transformation and improvement of their processes. In the past, we have worked with many technologies, some of them external and some of them developed in-house. And another characteristic of ours is being quite open source based. Many years ago, the path of Mediterranean and innovaphone met in various collaborations, and in that time, that was before the myApps environment, we did build a WordPress plugin for the widget that you may know that innovaphone has or had at that time, and also a first application outside of the PBX. It required additional hosting focused on invoicing the phone usage, especially for hotels. And hotels has been our main target with the innovaphone collaboration. This has brought us to develop two quite small applications which live inside the myApps environment. The first one, most shiny one, is Wake Me Up, which manages the wake up service of hotels. It could be used in other environments, but it has some details that at the moment it is focused especially on hotels. It's based on an admin application. If you have good knowledge of myApps environment, they usually have an admin application and a user application. This one only has an admin application because its purpose is to set up wake ups for the clients of the hotels, and for that we use waiting queues, which is an internal functionality of the PBXs. Actually, we have tried to use all existing functionality already built by innovaphone. Our other app, it's called Sites Manager. Actually, it was born as a small proof of concept on how to develop on myApps, but we pushed it a bit more and we built an app which lets administrators build a nice dashboard, customized dashboard for their devices. Actually, it only displays some icons in the dashboard. In this case, the main building block we are using from innovaphone is the files application, which you might have some knowledge on it. So let's go inside after this introduction on who we are in the applications. This will be like divided in 3 steps. That it is, how do we install these applications? How do we set up initially them in Apps Manager application into the myApps environment? and then I will do a little demo on each one of them. Installation has no special steps other than any other myApps application has. One has to go. I can 1 second. Sorry. I can do it in place now. The application to manage apps is not devices. Sorry, it's this app manager. Here there is the App Store, and in the App Store, one can browse all available applications, a lot from innovaphone, hopefully. And well, there appears to everybody this Mediterranean Consulting tab, where you can find big information on the application and some external link. So no need to take notes during the presentation, no URL copying. You already have all the information in the App Manager app. Okay, this is what I tried to explain right here. So once the application is installed, if I don't remember wrong, it has to be added in the installed apps and the service started, or maybe it's done automatically. I'm not really sure of that. But once the application is installed in our PBX, there is some configuration as any other application to be done in the PBX manager, which is an icon in the admin panel of myApps. Normal applications do have two sub-applications, which is the user one and the admin one. The special thing in our app is that it only has one application, that it is the admin side. This is because of the format of this application, that it is not really needed to have a user-facing application. It could be useful in the future, as in, let's put it in the roadmap, to add it in the Wake Me Up service. But at the end, in the initial situation of this application that is targeted to hotels, it was not really needed. But we would really like to improve in that side, which would let the own user to set up his own alarms, which sounds quite reasonable. Anyway, the process to install and to create an icon for your application in the dashboard is the same as any other myApps app. So it's clicking on the app and add an app and choosing this one and setting some basic parameters. Then, well, since this moment, I wanted to do it live, because I have one instance of the PBX that is here. This is the admin panel. This simulates in the left a user device. And I will start with the Sites Manager application. Sites Manager, as I mentioned before, lets the user configure some custom icons to be added in the dashboard. Then the user can be sorted, and the user can access all these websites. This can be like a CRM for companies, or some kind of intranet, or only informative websites that can be added here. So the admin application follows mostly the setup of any other application. I will try to add a new site to this dashboard in the left. This is like the purpose for today. It is Bing that it's quite a discussed search engine. And this should be you should be used to some of these fields because it follows the same structure as the PBX Manager application. But in this case, we decided to put all the configuration only in one form. Then the application URL is the URL where the icon will the icon will display. So we set this, and the icon URL can be left blank. But when the icon URL is left blank, well, in this site, it's necessary to add or remove the icons. It appeared probably because I previously already added it. In the user side, the icon is some kind of default icon. Then the process to add the real icon we want to display, it's through the files application. So one has to upload the icon wants to be displayed to the files application. It is this logobing.png, and it's very important to click on the I to get the URL, the authenticated URL for the icon. Then we can go back to the Sites Manager app, and in our in the site, it can be added. Just that there is this placeholder text which has to be customized. It was PNG, I think. Thanks to innovaphone cool developers, actually, as you saw, the icon is updated at real time. So now the end user has the new icon in his dashboard. Well, that was all for this application. So it worked. We can go to the next one, which is the Wake Me Up application. It's a bit more complex because it runs a service into the PBX, checking which wake ups have to be done. This is the display of the admin application, which has quite simple functionality. Basically, one can add new alerts. For example, for extension, I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm gonna check. This is 69. Okay, a new one for extension 69, 619 for today. And we added here the server time. It's not really necessary, but just to be sure what time is it for the PBX. It is usually right. It's not a problem, but well, we felt safer with this. Then we can set a timer for next minute, and let's see what happens. In the meantime, this extension could be it is a software phone in this case, but could be an innovaphone purchased device. Okay, in the meantime, oh, look, I don't know if you can hear, but it is sounding now and displaying that there is a wake up alarm. Something was not perfect, I think, in the demo, because maybe this user, I didn't configure the default phone, or I did a small mistake, maybe. I'm not sure. But when I refresh in the admin panel after this case, it was okay. it has been redirected, which I will mention what this means in a moment. Okay. The thing is that we have settings, some settings. One of them is the waiting queue, and the other is the phone call duration. Phone call duration is usually set to a higher number, but for the test, I placed it really small. Okay, is the how long it will be sounding this telephone. So, and we have also the redirection extension, because when there appeared the necessity to uh, when the user does not respond to the phone call in any way, we wanted to the phone call to be redirected to like an emergency in-house phone. So this field can be left empty if not necessary, or another extension to be configured here. This is the purpose of this field. Okay, now I'll try to set up a new one. It was 619. Okay, 619 for today and for again next minute. As you can see, the admin panel shows some status on the on what happened on each phone call, and it displays this orange line more or less in the now moment. It's not exactly, because this one should be below, but well, it's like separating. One should usually look up, and also there is the detail that future phone calls can be modified or delayed in case of being necessary. I will. Okay. Hope I can answer this call. Then, well, one can just hang, but can also take the wake up, and then there is a standard.
Mensaje de prueba para servicio despertador.
I don't know if it's sounding, but there is a standard message sounding now. This message is configured in the own innovaphone functionality through the waiting queues, which it's well, this is documented in the own innovaphone docs, and then the message you set in the waiting queue is sounds to the user, and that's all. There's a lot of configuration in the waiting queue, but at the end, the necessary is the default, almost the default configuration, and is already documented in our in the links I showed around here. Okay. So more or less, this is everything on my site. This is what I wanted to show you regarding these two applications. I have like a simple version in a document of what I showed to you, and that was all on my site. I wrote this thank you page with our email and Francesc's email, which is probably the person to contact in case you need more information. Just one last detail, and I will pass the speech to Victor again, that if I'm not wrong, the way to obtain these apps is through innovaphone, as any other license you might require. So at the end, from the dealer point of view or the final client, the process is exactly the same. We are absolutely available for support or how it works information, but the purchase process is the normal for any innovaphone in-house application. Thanks a lot, and please, if you have any comments, or I'll be glad to respond.
Thank you very much.